Hello everyone, it's Chrissy here from the Creative Eclectic. This is a surprise Tuesday Facebook Live. I haven't given anyone any warning. Hope everyone's having a fabulous day. I just thought I'd pop on and say hello to everyone since I haven't been on for a little while due to our renovations at Chateau Graham, although we don't live in a chateau, but my mum reckons it'll be like that when we finish our renovations. So I just thought I'd pop in, say hi, and share with you a little project that I'm sending out to people who joined in, well, two little projects that I'm sending out to people who participated in our online catalogue party weekend. Hello Kim, lovely to see you. Happy Tuesday, I hope you're well and having a fabulous day. So those people who participated in our online craft party will be getting a make and take in the mail. And so this make and take has a few elements to it. So you'll be getting one or two of two things. That's great that you're having a good day, Kim. So let me show you the first thing that they might be getting. So it's a lucky draw sort of thing. So they might be getting a base card and an embossed piece, and they're both in cinnamon cider, a die cut piece, some paper, a strip of paper from the Heart and Home suite, a paper doily, a note card from the Memories and More pack, and also a little envelope, some ribbon, and another little die cut. And I'm going to show you what you can do with that. So they might be getting a cinnamon cider one, or breezy here today, or they might be getting I think it's Misty Moonlight, I can't remember, but it's from the Memories and More Heart and Home suite. So they'll have a grey doily, and they'll also get some of this beautiful ribbon. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways which I used this, and so you can use this however you want. So we might start with the cinnamon cider one first. Oh, and you get a bit of ribbon, yes. So I've got all these little pieces. And so what you'll need is you'll need a stamp set of your choice. That can be any stamp set at all. I'm going to use just 1 sentiment set for this project. And you're probably wondering, why have I got this little note card and envelope? But bear with me, right? Hi Jody, thanks for joining us at my surprise Facebook Live. I'm going to use a sentiment from the In the Moment stamp set. Now, as you can see, I've got my little note card. So you can make lovely little cards. Like thank you cards. You don't need a lot for that, but I'm going to show you how to incorporate this card and the envelope into a bigger card. Okay, so let's start with some basics. So what I want to do is, I've already embossed this, and this is embossed with a new beehive embossing folder. I don't even know the name of it. It doesn't matter right now. Oh, you're cooking dinner. Oh, yeah, well, I was waiting for Steve to get off the phone from work, so that's why I'm a bit late today. I'm waiting for tradies to go and all of that. And so we're at the painting stage of Chateau Graham. That tomorrow the painter comes. So the end is in sight after, well, tomorrow it'll be 6 weeks. So I'm looking forward to no longer living with dust. All right, so as I said, people who participated in my online craft party, they will get one of the 2 make and take kits, all right? And that's, you won't know what you're going to get until it arrives. So I'm just going to trim down my paper a little bit, my embossed bit. So you don't have to trim yours. I just want to make mine so that it fits nicely. And Jody, is there anything good for dinner? Like, I'm hoping that you're having something really yummy. I went out for lunch, so I don't really feel like dinner. All right, so this is going to be a really simple card. So you can do this one of 2 ways. You can put your paper over the top, or you can put it underneath. Okay, I'm going to put my paper over the top of my embossed piece, just because I can. Now what I want to do is I want to have a little flap on the front. And this isn't going to be a really complicated card or anything like that. But if you look at this, it's not, you don't have the same distance all the way around. Yes, you're crafting, Kim, that's great. And Jody, no, renovations aren't easy, and I, every time we do it, think, am I really crazy? Because this is, although we've got a fabulous team of workmen that are helping us, and they drive all the way from the Gold Coast every day to do stuff, and they did our ensuite and our kitchen as well. So yeah, so I'm just going to trim a bit off. I want to trim just a little bit more, so probably I'll make it 2 7/8. I think will probably be a great amount, and I should have been using my other cutter, but it's all right. So this will be around about how I want it. Okay, so the super simple card, what I haven't included in the make and takes is a piece for the center. Now, I've got this little envelope. And so I'm not going to use that as an envelope, but I am going to use it as a little pocket inside my card for my gift card that I want to include in here. So I'm just going to cut off this flap. Okay. And so, and Jody, yes, this is another winging it project. And so I'm going to put that little bit there on the inside. Now you could stamp that if you want. I hadn't really thought about that, how I was going to stamp it, so I'm not going to. And you're just going to put it on with some glue. I just saw your comment, Jodie, about winging it good. Yeah. It's a bit like that old Devo song, but instead of whip it, it's wing it. Yeah. Now I'm going to be singing that all the time. Alright, so I'm going to stick this on the inside. And so we're just putting a little pocket on the inside. And this will be, so this is our envelope from the gift card. And as I said, you could stamp that, you could put a doily on it. You can make it look a bit different, but I'm just leaving it plain for now. So I've got the front of my card. I'm going to, now when you're using an embossed surface, you don't want to use a tape runner, run a tape runner on it, because what that does is it either will sometimes pick up the paper and tear it, or stop it, Jodie, I don't want to have that song in my head. Yes, or you can, or if it doesn't lift up the paper, what it does is press out the embossing. So either you use glue to stick it on, or you put your tape runner or on the base card. But don't use your tape runner, whether it be a seal or a snail or whatever it is you use. Don't put that on your base card, okay? So, who else have we got watching today? I can see we've got 4, oh, one of those people is me, 4 people watching. And I'm sorry, there's someone watching and I can't pronounce your name, and I'm really sorry. I don't even want to try it in case I offend you, but I can see you there, and welcome. And all right, so we've got our little piece of embossed piece. Now, when you're using your paper, this is from the Heart and Home suite. Like, I could use that side if I wanted to, but I'm going to use this side. You could also emboss it, and you could also heat emboss it. You can do all sorts of things. You can sponge it. You could distress it. Let's do a little bit of distressing. So distressing is probably one of the easiest things you can do. So, and I'm going to be bad and use my ribbon scissors. But I'm allowed to do that because they're mine, and excuse the noise. So just run your scissors up the side. And we're just roughing up the edge. Now, some people like to sponge it or use the blending brush before they rough up the edge, but it's not necessary. I'm just giving it a little bit of more texture and drama. You might think, oh, I don't want to do that, and that's okay. Now, I hope you're having a really good day. I think it's Shivani. Oh, I hope that's how I hope I pronounced that right. I hope you're having a good day and welcome. And I'll give it a try. And sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Yeah. Okay, so I've just roughed that up. So we're keeping this bit. Don't throw that bit away, right? We're just going to pop that on as well. And I apologise if you can hear Steve and Delphi outside playing with the ball. She's in love with one of our builders. And when I went out this morning, she just did not care because Dave the builder was here and he's her favourite. And when he sings, she just loves it. She sits there and she wags her tail and looks incredibly happy. So she's going to be really sad when the renos are finished. Okay. So now we've got our little piece card that we've got had at the front. And we're just going to stick this on. So as I said, this is a really quick make and take. And the paper is from the Heart and Home suite. And the cinnamon cider cardstock is retiring. So I think it's the 24th, the retiring list comes out. And so if you like this cardstock or ink you want to, and you don't have it, you will want to get it very, very quickly, because it will more than likely sell out. So I've got my little piece at the front, a little flap, and I've got this little flap here. So I'm going to, I didn't cut it very straight the first time, but that's no problem at all. I'm just going to use my little trimmer, and yes, I should be using one that everybody else has, and I'm going to cut maybe 3/4 of an inch off. Well, Kim, if you need to get those re-inkers, you better get them ASAP, because they won't last long. I can guarantee that. Okay. So I'm going to just stick this little piece in here, just to add some interest. So this is, if you wanted to, you know, have stamp an inspirational message on the inside, you could do that. But you could also write a message on this inside of this. I'm just going to stick this little bit in here. So you're not wasting anything from your Memories and More card pack. You want to also make sure that it's lined up with the edge. Okay. And I've got a little bit of the leftover. Well, it's not straight, so we're not going to use that. We'll use the straight bit. Yes. And we're just gonna stick that on the inside, yeah. So again, not wasting, or wasting very little of your pack. And I quite like, I'm going to put that piece over that side. Okay. So depending on which card you get in your make and take, depends on what material you have and how you, and I've designed these so they work with most stamp sets that you might have in your stash. So I've only got a little bit of, and this is a good thing about using glue, is you can sort of adjust it and trim bits off. These poor ribbon scissors, they're gonna hate me. And I hope my friend Sandra's not watching, because she would be going, Chrissy, I gave you those scissors, they're for ribbon. So, yes. Hi Judy, nice to see you. Happy Tuesday. I was just putting together a little make and take that you're going to be getting one of these in the mail. Okay. So I mustn't have lined that up yet. Oh, I hope you can't hear the dog drinking. That's disgusting. I've never known a dog to drink so loudly. Okay, so we've got a little bit of ribbon. What I probably should have done, and I wonder if I can still do this. Oh yeah, the glue hasn't, no, I'll do it on the next one. I probably should have put my bit of ribbon underneath behind the back of the card, so you'll get 2 bits of ribbon in your pack. if you get the cinnamon cider one. I've got, so I'm not even going to stamp this. If you wanted to change the colour of your doily, you can do that. You can ink the white side and make it whatever colour that you like. All right, I'm just going to pop that there. So Jodie, you didn't say what you were having for dinner. Make sure they're cooking. Thank you, Jodie. I will have a fabulous rest of the week. The painters are coming, and hopefully by Friday it will be done. Hopefully. So I've got this little die cut. I think I cut this using these scalloped contours dies. Chicken meatloaf. That sounds really good. Pity you live so far away, Jodie. I would be round there in a flash for chicken meatloaf. It's funny, I don't mind cooking for others, but I don't really like cooking when it's just Steve and I. So he does a lot of the cooking in our house. Thank goodness. Okay. All right. So I've got my little piece of die cut. Now this is just a piece of pattern paper. And most people go, yeah, then you've got to put another layer on it. You don't. All you have to do is stamp on your pattern paper. You don't have to do terribly much. Actually, I'm not going to use the In the Moment stamp set for this. I'm going to use a sentiment from the Sailing Home set because I am really short on thank you cards at the moment. Like really, really short. Look at all these little die cut pieces that I've got. Right. All sticking together. Where is my thanks? There we go. So yeah, if you have got a clear envelope or a clear cello bag, cut all your extra die cuts and pop them in your stamp case. So stamp them, cut them out and pop them in. See? Then you've got all these lovely things that you can use. And I also keep in the front of my oh, you're having durian salad. Yum, that'd be good too. Now, I have these in here. These are die cuts, and I use these with my Stamparatus or stamp positioning tool. You might have a Misty, or you might have a Tim Holtz one. And I use these so I can do multiple stamping. So I keep those in the front of my stamp case. Okay, so hopefully this one will be big enough for what I want. And if it's not, well, that's okay too. I think it'll be fine because I'm feeling a little lazy and don't want to walk into the other room and get a stamp set. This should be fine. So, and I love this wood grain paper, so I'm just going to stamp it in cinnamon cider. So I'm keeping the same sort of theme. Gee, I hope that's straight. It's pretty good. I don't know if you can see that. Might not exactly be in the center, but that's quite all right. All right, so I didn't use my bit of ribbon before, but I have got a bit of ribbon. So what I'm going to do with this particular one is just layer some ribbon but behind this tag here. So the tag is almost the same side, and this is from the I think it's Stitched So Sweetly set. So just get a bit of ribbon about that width because I'm going to trim it down. some, somewhere on my table, I've got some dimensionals. I've got my black ones here. It doesn't really matter. So, well, have you got those doilies, Kim? Because if you haven't, they'll be retiring too. So anything that has Cinnamon Cider, Magenta Madness, Misty Moonlight, what's it, Just Jade, and Bumblebee. And so this is a Bumblebee and Cinnamon Cider thing. Oh, well, you better order them, Kim. Yeah, because otherwise you will miss out. I've been caught before, so if you don't have the ring inkers, even if you ordered them today and then finalised your order Thursday morning, when the sale comes out, you would I would recommend that. Yeah, Misty Moonlight's really lovely, but the new colours are going to be fantastic. We've had a little sneak peek of them and I'm pretty happy so far. Wow. So I put my glue dots down there and put my ribbon on. And I'm using the, just using one of the bits of ribbon that comes in the make and take pack. Just because I don't have to use the two, you know. Just because something comes in a pack, you don't have to use all of it. Okay. Now, and certainly if you wanted to turn your card that way and turn the sentiment around that way, that would look fantastic too. So I've got my... Now, there's one thing I didn't include in the make and take packs that I'm sending out to people is embellishments. So I didn't include any bling whatsoever. And because bling is such a personal thing, I love it, but other people might not. So I've got my little thanks here. And I've got some bling that I'm going to use, and this is retiring as well. And because I always forget to use it, so that's why we're using it today. So I'm going to put lots of bling on this one. Put some cinnamon cider down the bottom. And so it looks like it's sort of holding on my DSP piece on. I'm a poet? What does that mean? Oh, am I? I didn't even know what I said to warrant that comment. Yeah, anyway. I'll have to ask you later, Kim. And then probably need a couple of little more ones on here. Just one over here. Oh, it's shaping up nicely. Thank you, Judy. So this is one of the 2 cards that I'm going to show you. Okay. So normally I would say put odd numbers of bling on, but there are times when that odd number rule is meant to be broken. And this might be one of them. So that's my first little card. So it's got a little spot on the front, so you can either stamp a sentiment in there or you can write in there. And then when you open it up, it's got a little spot here. which is the perfect size for a little gift card. Okay, and of course you can add another sheet in the center. You could, as I said, stamp that. So that's a little thank you card that I've done. Just not bad for winging it. And I did forget, actually I forgot a whole layer. So this, like, I've got this one here. So what I was supposed to do is put that behind this card. So let me show you what that would look like really quickly. I'll just do the front, not the inside. But you can choose to leave it off, so it's not particularly devastating if you don't put it on. Really quick. Now, and also the other thing, you don't have to put the embossing folder this way. You can do it that way. So let's do this one the opposite way to the first one. Okay, I'm hoping you can see that, because sometimes I have a tendency to move my paper and the wind's coming through the kitchen window and blowing everything around. So yeah. I'm not going to rough this piece up. We'll just do this one flat. And it's up to you whether you put your paper right near the edge with you. Now, you could have it going this way, but because of the pattern of this paper, I'm not going to. I'm going to put this one on some dimensionals. Raise it up just a little bit. So it's basically the same card with an extra layer in it. Remember, when you're taking the backs off your dimensionals, just press them down in the center. I'm going to pop that there. For this one, I know I want to make it a little bit narrower. And again, I think it's about 3, this one. Now I make it a bit smaller. 2 on. I did that the last time, didn't I? Yes, Kim Bling is a thing. Oh, yes. I did say bling is a thing. Oh, yes. So this one here, I'm just going to chop a little bit off the end as well. Just to make it a slight bit shorter, so I'm happy with how it sits. And just experiment, just take a little bits off at a time and see how that goes. Now, we're not going to forget the ribbon this time. So what I'm going to do is get my glue dots and stick a couple of glue dots across the center. Stick a bit of Put a longer piece of ribbon here. That's around about middle there. Shove a whole heap of glue on. And on the ribbon itself. So this one, so we're using pretty much all the same materials. We're just adding one layer and changing it ever so slightly. I'm going to shove a bit of glue across the middle here. This one I don't know where the doily is for. I'll just grab a different one. Okay, the doily here. Pop a doily in the centre. And of course, if you just have plain white doilies, you can always colour them, whatever colour you like. Okay, I've got my little envelope. To cut that right on the fold line here. So I can put that on. So if you didn't want to have it that way on the inside, you could turn it over. But I like it so that you see a bit of the pattern paper and you can see your, oops. Yeah, I say I like it that way, but then I put the glue on the wrong side, but it's all right. It's demonstrating how to do it a little bit differently, isn't it? So, what I am going to do, because I stupidly cut off that piece, is I'm going to add a strip of the pattern paper fold this back here. I think I'm going to add a strip of the pattern paper. Just let me think about this for a second. No, I'm not. I'm just going to clip in either end. Just fold it like that. There we go. It's good as a bought one, really. Use my bone folder and get that nice and see. Getting a bit crowded here. Pop this on the inside of my card. This time I'm going to use this. Let's swap it around slightly. Yeah, I like the added layer of colour too, Jodie. I think in my head that was always what I was going to do, but I just forgot. I'm just going to trim off this excess here. And a bit of excess there. And I'm not going to put that piece on there. I'll leave that for later on when I put my white on the inside. I'll be able to also put a bit this down the bottom. Okay? So don't worry that your ribbon is sitting up, because you're not going to see that shortly. So you've got your dimensionals on your... Now you could stamp this piece of, what is it called? Bumblebees, yes, sorry. It's amazing how quickly you forget what the colour names are when you haven't created for a week. Oh, hi, Glenda. You think it's better than I bought one, Kim? Thank you. Glenda, we were just discussing that this is one of the make and takes that I'm sending out in the mail. So there'll be 2 that are coming out. And in my first one, I forgot to put the background piece on. So I'm just fixing this one. Just threw this one together quickly to show you how different it looks with the background piece on. Is that straight? Yeah, it's pretty straight. Okay, and then I've got my little thanks, oh well, piece of cardstock that I've cut with the scallop contours, not cardstock, what is this stuff? Paper. Oh dear, it's a long day. That's what happens when people knock at your door at 7 AM to say they're here to do tiling, and then, but it's okay, I'm not complaining. Hopefully by Friday it will be done. So I've only got painting and the shower screens and one shower screen and all the little trim to go on. So like mirrors to be hung and towel rails and all of that sort of thing. So I'm hoping that's Friday. But I don't know how many, I would assume they would do 2 coats of paint, but I wouldn't know. Maybe they just put a really thick coat on. I'm not a painter, and we decided this time not to paint ourselves because we both hate it. All right, so our little cards coming together nicely. Version 2. You think they'll do a primer then a top? I hope so. Yeah. I'm really excited though. It's just be nice not have to walk upstairs every time you want to go to the bathroom or brush your hair or something. Although I do have a mirror near the front door so I can brush my hair on the way out. But we don't go through the front door most times, so yeah. So, and then once it's all finished, then I've got to look at towels and all of those sort of things that go with having a new bathroom. And someone asked me, why would I get new towels? And I went, well, why would I not? Because, yeah, you spend a lot of money getting it done, so you want to have it looking nice. And our towels are very old, so anyway. So this is card number 2, version 2 of card number 1. Does that make sense? It's that time of day, all the neighbours are going for walks and stuff. So we've got 5 dogs around us. Yes, Jodie, new things for a new room. I think that it makes perfect sense. Oops. Let's do this one. So there we go. trim that little end bit up. So yeah, so it's the same card, well, same materials, except this one. So what we could do with this one is we could just put this on the inside. Let's do that. So we're not wasting it. And then if you want to put a bit of white over it, you can. But just looks a little less, what do you call it, naked. So there you go. So that's the make and take number 1 that I'm sending out in the mail. Hopefully we have enough time that I can show you that you're not running off for dinner. I'll show you make and take number 2 really quickly. Just need to wash the glue off my hands. All right. Let's have a look at the items that are in number 2. So, really quickly, you've got a piece of cardstock. Oh, you've got dinner. Oh dear, you have to watch it on replay, Jodie. We've got an envelope. We've got our base card, and we've got a strip of, we've got a grey, I think it's basic grey doily. And so we've got some little bits there, and our ribbon. So I'll be really quick with this one. All right, so let's do the first card. The first card I'm going to do as a nautical card. And again, really simple. Don't overthink it. Just experiment. So that's the whole reason that I send out make and takes to people, so that they can just experiment with the products and then decide, well, how is this something that I could use? Hi Jenny, thanks for joining us. We're just talking about the make and take packs that I sent out to people who participated in my online Stampin' Up party a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't had a chance to film. So I hope you're having a great day. And so I'm using the Sailing Home stamp set for this, and I am just going to do a stamped image right in the middle of my pattern paper. Okay, I'm not going to really colour it. Now if I didn't like that, which possibly I don't, I could, let's see, okay, do I have another little image that I could have already die cut that I could use? So I do, but I just need to stamp it. But you don't have to, and I'm going to hope that this works, because normally I would use my Stamparatus. Ooh. So there we go. I didn't like it straight on the back there. And I've got some other little die cut pieces in my collection that I've already stamped. So I've got a little lighthouse as well. I'm not sure if that's the right colour. What else have I got? I have so much in that bag that I don't know the best things to use. Hey Glenda, hope your holidays are going well. Okay, so I'm just going to use this little piece here. So I've cut my piece of pattern paper so it's just smaller than my contour dies. And I'm just layering this. Now, because this might be a masculine card, and I'm just about out of glue here. But when you get almost out of glue, don't throw away your glue bottle, because you can water it down and put it in like a little spray bottle. An empty stamping mist bottle is perfect, and make like a little spray glue that's reusable, so you can get every little skerrick of glue out. So I'm just going to pop this in the middle. Now, as I said, I don't really like that flat on there, but I do want... And what I'm going to do, if this isn't grey, so... Do I have a grey one? I've got a Sahara sand one. So I've got a bit of grey granite ink. So I'm just going to grab that and just press it down a little bit. So as I said, you can use whatever stamps you have in your stash to make with this set of note cards. Okay. So, and if you missed the first two cards, you'll be able to watch this on replay. So I'm just going to put a glue dot. You don't need much more than that on there. I am going to use my black dimensionals just because I have them handy. Well, I did have them handy. They've run away. No, I haven't really. Black dimensionals on the back of this one. I'm going to use 3. So it's fairly monochrome card, only a little bit of extra colour in there with the smoky slate and the now, even though I've included a doily in this particular pack, I'm not going to use it. I am going to, however, use the paper that it's in the pack, because I think that that just adds a little bit of extra interest to the pattern. Now, you might think that that's too wide. You can make it narrower. It's completely up to you. And again, this is going to be a thank you card. So, and this is going to be a thank you for our bathroom designer. And oh, hi Rhoda, nice to see you. I got most of your order here today, Rhoda. Part of it didn't arrive, so, but they've already posted, like I rang them this morning and Stampin' Up have sent it. So I've stamped my thanks. So this is a Sailing Home set that I used with Night of Navy. And Glenda and Rhoda, you'll be getting either a cinnamon cider or a, and Jodie, a cinnamon cider or a, and Judy as well, and the other Glenda, note cards and envelopes. So you can either recreate this one or you can create something different with what you have in your stash. Now this is the Heart and Home note cards and envelopes, and I've used the paper, the coordinating paper as well. Now we want a bit of ribbon, because even though it's for a guy, I still think a bit of ribbon is nice. So I'm just going to pop this ribbon behind. Actually, we've got enough ribbon that we can go all the way around. Let's do that. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't use ribbon on a card for a man. And don't let them tell you you can't use bling on a card for a man either. That's just rubbish. You need, they like having a little bit of sparkle in their life. Even though they would probably don't admit it. Like, the beautiful thing about card making is you can throw out all the rules. Oh, so Glenda, you're having a good holiday still? And you've been out all day and now have time to relax. Oh. Oh, Jody's dinner's cooked and yes. I still haven't worked out what we're having for dinner. I was going to have salmon, but then I remembered we had that last night. So I can't have it 2 nights in a row. Okay, so I'm just going to... So my card is upside down at the moment. So I haven't done anything on the inside of my card yet. So this is quite a simple design, and you know, I'm going to turn my bow upside down so it'll go the right way. I'm one of these people that it's easier if I tie my bows upside down. Or turn my card upside down to tie my bows. That's probably what I meant to say. And like when you're adjusting your bow, if you don't know this little trick, you put your finger on the knot and then you can just adjust it. Like you can make the tails a bit shorter or longer. Yes, Glenda, you will have to watch all the live later. And you'll have to save it so when you come back to sunny Queensland, but by the time you get back it'll probably be nice, a bit cooler. I think it'll be a bit cooler. Yes. Yeah, and so when you come back to sunny Queensland, you will be able to create this at home, or one of the two anyway. Okay. I've still got glue on my fingers, so they're... Alright. So, that's my masculine thank you card. I do think it needs a little bit of bling. Again, I'm going to use the these little embellishments that are about to retire. And I'm going to, as I said, break my usual rule, and I'm going to use an even number. And the reason that I'm doing that is because it's a bit more symmetrical. There are times when your rules are meant to be broken, and this is probably one of them. And don't think with these little embellishments, which are retiring soon, that you need to put them on your project so that they look square. You can put them on like they're diamonds. So the only thing in your pack that you won't have are these embellishments, but you can use whatever you have. And I am going to show you quickly the other card idea that I have with this same same materials but a different stamp set. And yep, we haven't put the doily on this one, and that's okay. Someone will get a bonus doily in their pack. All right. So yeah, so this is this one here. So I've used lots of embellishments. I've used the ribbon that comes in the pack. And if you wanted to stamp on the inside, you can. That's actually, we probably should, just to give it a bit, make it a bit happy. Now, the other reason I'm using this card as a thank you for my bathroom designer is that he lives on the coast and he goes sailing a lot. So that's, but I've got a few thank you cards to make for all of the different people who worked on our project. And that's not completely straight, and that's okay too. So, and let's stamp the envelope as well while we're here. I'll put that over this side this time. And I'll stamp the little flap as well. And I know Chris will really appreciate this. Whoops, I've got smudge. All right, so that's our first blue one. We'll just cover that up there. All right, so really easy card. Oh, I'm glad you're making a card for the March challenge on our Chrissy's Creative Eclectic group, Glenda. Oh, in the process, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty spectacular card, because you only have to just use DSP on it, or designer series paper. I'm just going to wash the ink off my hands. All right, so I've got my other piece, and again, all the same materials. Got some ribbon. I'm just going to use a different stamp set for this one, and I'm going to use the In the Moment stamp set. And this is, oh, I've already got it out. There we go. Just going to use this girl. And I'm going to stamp directly on my piece of DSP. So I'm going to have my card going a different way this time. Okay, so this will be this, because I'm going to do a tiny bit of colouring, hopefully just a tiny bit. It might take a little bit longer. So I'm just stamping it in Memento ink, and because it's a rubber stamp, you don't need an extra rubber layer behind it. It's a bit on an angle, but that's okay. No one will know unless I point it out to them, which I just did. Okay, so I've got my stamping blends. So I've got some Misty Moonlight. Oh, you're using Lynn's. Oh. That's a good idea, Jodie, to encourage Glenda to use Lynn's stash. Sorry, Lynn, if you're watching. Oh, you're in Wodonga now. Oh. That's pretty cool. So I used the wrong end. Oh, it's always good when you can use someone else's stash. Now I'm just colouring in the outline of her jeans. And this is really rough colouring. It's not going to be anything spectacular, okay? And the thing I like about the Misty Moonlight is that it does look like a bit like blue jeans. So I've used my dark one on the pants first. I'm just going to, in a circular motion, just blend that in really quickly. Okay. So I haven't been to Wodonga yet. You'll have to tell me all about it when you get back, Glenda, because Steve and I are still planning our road trip back from South Australia, but we're going via Melbourne, so in the Great Ocean Road, because neither of us have done that. Okay, so I've got some balmy blue, so I thought she might like to have a nice soft balmy blue shirt. So she can see all the dark bits of the balmy blue shirt, like the outline I'm doing in my dark blend. My piece of paper keeps moving. And then I'm just going to colour it in with my light. I didn't want to add too many colours in because I want to keep it fairly monochrome. Now, what I am going to do is I want to colour in the cushions. So I'm just going to do them in the light balmy blue first. Two cushions there. And I'll let that dry a little while I'm doing the rest of it. And I have some cinnamon cider on the window panes, or window frames, I should say. So you have to use a thin end because I'm not even being too particular about how I colour it in. Okay. And there are a few little bits that I've sort of missed a little bit. So I've got some smoky slate. I'm just going to put that in the windows. And even then, I'm not doing a whole heap. My smoky slate is very, very old. So it's not probably colouring the way that it should. But you'll get the idea. Okay, so we're going to have a grey cup as well, a dark grey cup, and that sort of just blends in. where she's sitting, I'm just going to do a light crumb cake. And again, not being too particular, I'll blend that bit in where I've gone a bit crazy with the, whatever that was, cinnamon cider. Just missed that little bit there. Okay, so we're up to her hair. I'm going to do some cinnamon cider in her hair as well. And again, not being really particular. But I just wanted to do this way so you can see you can actually use your blends on DSP as well as just plain white and vanilla and yeah. Okay, let's have a look at her. I should have a dark blue clip in her hair to match her jeans. I'm going to put a bit of bling on that anyway. Alright, so we're still waiting for that to dry a little bit more. Her arms I'm going to do in the, and her feet in this neutral sort of colour. And it's an S800. But I'll probably lighten it up a bit with my colour lifter. Oh. So, because it's very dark. So I've got my colour lifter here. I just don't know which one's the newest one. I'm just going to lighten it up just a little bit. This one's probably not going to lighten terribly much. It just lifts some of the colour up and makes it that little bit lighter on her feet, because I felt the other one was just a little bit dark. Now we've got those pillows, so what I'm going to do is that I want to leave them that light blue, but I don't want to make them a real, let's see if this one will work. I don't want to make them a dark blue either. So I'm going to go over one of them with my smoky slate. And so that gives you a bluey grey colour. Okay. So that's one with the smoky slate, and the light smoky slate. And then the other one I'm going to go over with a bit of the Misty Moonlight. Oh, okay, I knew what you meant, Jodie, that you hadn't thought of using the DSP to colour in. So this Misty Moonlight's probably a little bit darker than what I want, but that's okay, because so I'll put the Misty Moonlight on. So then I'm going to use my smoky slate, the light smoky slate, and I'm going to go over that again. And it will just lighten that up. I love that it doesn't matter that whether you use the same colours from the same colour family. So that just lightens it a little bit. If it's still not light enough, you can grab your colour lifter and lighten that up. Okay. Needs a sentiment on it. I think that I'm just going to stamp the "You're in My Thoughts" on it. It was going to be a thank you card, but I think that it needs to be something else. I'm just going to stamp that in the Night of Navy. Ink everywhere. So yeah, and I'm sorry this is taking so long. But I did want to share this video before people received their goodies in the mail. And see, even though that's quite dark, you can, if you didn't like stamping your sentiment directly like that. Yes, Night of Navy is sort of almost the bane of my existence, Jodie. All right, let's put this card together. We have got a strip. This one strip's a little bit shorter than the other one. If you wanted to, you could actually wrap your ribbon around the side there. I'm going to just put my strip across the top. Or you could put your strip across the bottom. Or you could use the other side. But because I've already got a wood grain, I'm just using a strip across the top. What I should have probably done is got a strip of navy as well. So my almost empty glue. Now, part of the reason that I'm doing it this way rather than the other way is just because I think that people, when they look at a card or an example of the card, they don't always see the possibilities and think, oh, well, what happens if you just turn it around? Like using the same sketch, you turn it around slightly. How does that change the look of the card? And so you've got heaps of ribbon. Pop this ribbon around here. And you'll get a heap of ribbon in you. If you get one of these blue ones, you will get a heap of ribbon in. You'll get more than what you need. And it's a beautiful soft ribbon like this. And again, when you're tying a bow, make sure you put a glue dot underneath where your knot is. So that just keeps it secure, because it makes your life so much easier. So too would keeping your craft space nice and tidy. But anyway, that's a whole separate thing. And yeah, so this just keeps your knot nice and secure, so you can. Now, if you wanted to, you could put little, make that into a banner. You can do whatever you want with the bits that you receive in the mail. Don't think that you're limited to how I've shown you. But you might say, well, this is a good example and I'd like to use that, and I'd be very flattered if you said that too. So, yeah. And because this is a girly card, I'm going to leave a bit more ribbon flowing off the edges. I've got my doily here. Now you could do this a couple of ways. You can cut your doily. I'm going to probably put my doily under here. You can again put it wherever you like. And when I stick my doily down, I only use glue in the middle, and I'm sorry, it's sliding everywhere. Okay. I don't worry about putting glue on the very edges because it's nice to... Oh, you can hear our crickets. Yes, we have lots of crickets. And you can probably hear the dog 3 doors down. At least Hero, the dog next door, he's not howling tonight. He gets awfully lonely when if they go out at night, and he howls, and he's such a beautiful dog. But he thinks that he can just waltz into our house. The other day, I was upstairs and Delphi was outside and she was barking and barking. And I couldn't work out what she was barking at. and I came downstairs, and here's Hero, this beautiful border collie from next door, lying on Delphi's bed in the dining room. He'd made himself right at home because they were doing their personal training on the driveway, and he decided that he just wanted to come visit. And he's such a sweet dog. But he hasn't worked out how to use the dog door to go outside. And you know, I put that on the wrong side. So there is a right and a wrong side to our die. And how you tell that is you'll see the die is more smooth on one side than the other. So what I'm going to do, because I've ripped that off now, I was too busy telling you the story of Hero. So because of, so you just pull it off if you haven't stuck it down too hard. And I can pop this on the top here. Okay. And Steve's pacing, going, hopefully you'll be ready for dinner soon. Because we can't cook until I get out of the kitchen. Not that I think he wants to cook. Alright, so I've got my little girl there. This one I'm going to use different bling on it. I'm going to use the waves of the ocean. How about we put a bit more glue in the corner. So yeah, so you can see that's more of a smooth edge. Oh no, that was definitely a mistake, Glenda. Yes, the other Glenda, yes, yes, our neighbour's dog is called Hero, Jody, and yes, he is very much very comfortable with us. And it's really funny, he doesn't let other dogs in his house. And when our Delphi girl, we were on the driveway one day and they said, oh, just be careful she doesn't come in the house. And Hero was just lying on the driveway and their kids were inside. So Delphi just wandered into their house and sat with the kids on the lounge and was watching TV. So, yes. So Delphi's equally as comfortable with our neighbours as Hero is with us. So I love this new bling, this Waves of the Ocean bling. And I've got to think where I might put that. And I love that it's got different size pieces of bling as well. One day I am going to remember to change the putty end of my take my pick tool. I'm going to pop this over here somewhere. So, yes. So there we go. So this is my other example. So as you can see, you've exactly the same materials. When you change it with a different stamp set and just change, so the layout is actually what they call a sketch. So so the sketch is the base, the long bit, the scallop bit, and then when you change it round, like turn it at 90 degrees, it still makes a big difference. It just changes the look completely. And this one we used basically the same materials, just changed the way we did the ribbon and changed the way that you can use the little envelope. So you've got your little gift card bit. And then if you put this one on the wrong way, you just fold that piece up and you've got another way to use that. So yeah, so they're our little make and take ideas. Now, if you come up with a different idea when you get your little make and take in the mail, I want to see it, okay? And so send it to me either via messenger or post it in the comments below. Would love to see what you make. I always get excited when people share things with me. So I hope you have a really great Tuesday night. And thank you for, yeah, if you can pull, yes, Glenda, it's really great that you can pull the glue bits off quickly. And yeah, I'm so glad that Glenda L that you like my cards, and Jody that you like them as well, and well, everyone likes them. They're not to everybody's taste, but I just wanted to share. And keep an eye out in the mail for all those people who participated in our online craft weekend. Your little make and take and your prizes are on their way. Until next time, happy creating. Bye for now.